it's Laura Bray at Lauragram NYC on Instagram, and today we are at the historic Neir's Tavern that has been around since 1829. It is one of the oldest bars in the United States, and I'm super lucky to be here with the wonderful owner, Lloyd.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about the history of Neir's and then kind of bring us to the present time?
Oh, well, you're right. I think the most important thing that people, should realize, and I think they got it down right, is that Neir's Tavern is the most famous bar you never heard of. I don't know if you heard, because it's been around for so long. 1829 was established because of a racetrack that was the most famous in the country, and it was called Union Course. And so when it was so famous, so many people came here, and eventually what they did was created a bar to take advantage of the racetrack crowd. And so that's how we were established. And fast forward, we had different iterations of Neir's Tavern. We had, it was called Blue Pump Room. Then it was called, 1835 was called the Old Abbey. 1898 was called Neir's Social Hall, where we had Mae West and first silent films were being filmed here and showed here. You had the Neir family that gave it away to another family. And then I took it over in 2009. Just before me taking over and the other Neir family gave it away, we had the movie called The Goodfellas that was filmed here. And that was obviously went on to become an iconic movie. And so 2009, unfortunately, was going to close down, and I found out about it. So I said, let me see if I can help. Next thing you know, I had to learn how to run a bar and restaurant, which was tough. 10 years later, we lost our lease, unfortunately, after me trying to make it all work. But we were saved. The community just kind of got together, became national news, and we would get a 10-year lease. So now we're on our way to get to 200th anniversary in 2029. So that's just a little bit about our journey. It's been adventurous, but we're still here.
So can you tell us about the neighborhood? I know you mentioned that originally, it was the horse crowd, the horse racing and all that is kind of how it all started, but like more about Woodhaven and kind of where we are and everything.
I love Woodhaven because Woodhaven is a microcosm of America. It's just filled with just incredible immigrant population. Even from the beginning, we had Eastern Europeans, the Germans, the Italians, the Irish. But nowadays, it's just a beautiful mosaic of Hispanics, African Americans, Caucasians, from all different walks of life. And it's really a reflection of America. I love Woodhaven. I think it's just so great. And the fact that you have a community tavern like Neir's Tavern to reflect that community, it just goes hand in hand. And most people say, well, how come Neir's Tavern survived for almost 200 years? And I must say the key is always to make sure that we connect and reflect the community. So whatever that community looks like out there, whatever demographic, it needs to look like that in here. And whatever this looks like in here, it needs to look like out there. Because if it's not truly a community like gathering place. You can't just have one type of people. Its existence is built on making sure that we are living, breathing of what's outside of our doors. So Woodhaven is one of those places that are very special and the most diverse, I believe, one of the most diverse United States, little cities in the United States.
Okay, Lloyd, so we have amazing drinks in front of us, and I want to hear the story behind both of these cocktails, and I'm sure everybody else does too. So can you tell us what this one is right here first?
Oh yeah, this is our signature cocktail. We first created it because all these people would come here, Goodfellas, Goodfellas. So we decided to create a cocktail called the Wise Guy. And it's a whiskey-based drink. It's based on Uncle Nearest whiskey, which was actually people don't realize that Uncle Nearest was the founder, the guy that created Jack Daniel's whiskey. Before they were able to say that Uncle Nearest was actually the guy that did Jack Daniel's whiskey. So that's based on his whiskey, and we did it just to kind of honor the African American culture and also just Neir's Tavern and the Wise Guys Goodfellas connection. So we also have this other drink called the Haymaker's Punch. It was a drink that was popular in the early 1800s that early American farmers used to drink to cool off. But we added a little dark Jamaican rum because that's my history. I'm a Jamaican in it, so it really makes it really nice, beautiful summer drink, but you can also drink it year round.
Woo. I like the rum in it like that. Yeah. What do they used to make it with instead of
So
dark
it's
Jamaican rum?
the actual. There's a mixture of molasses, honey, and some other ingredients in there. That's the base, and then we add a dark Jamaican rum to it.
That's what it tastes like for sure.
Yeah.
I hear you have a really rare and super unique beer tap situation. So can you tell me about that?
So our draft system is really unique. It's something that's been around before commercial refrigeration. And so we have the stainless steel coil system. It's 25 foot. We have 6 of them, it's 25 foot, and they're coiled up into this little stainless steel like contraption. And what they used to do is they order ice from the different ice houses in the United States, and they would bring it here, and they would just mash it up and put it on the stainless steel coils. And so back then, that was known as the coldest beer in town. We have that same system that's operating the same way right now, right here. So when you drink the beer at Neir's Tavern, you're drinking it how they actually drank it back in the day, over 100 years ago. So we've never changed that system, and so you drink it. There's no like artificial. This is what it is.
Oh my god, that is one of the coolest little tidbits of history that I've heard in all of my experience doing all of this. So you're really drinking the coldest beer in town for sure.
Yeah, that's a little bit about Neir's history, and I love it. I love it. I loved all the history, and thank God the little tidbit I made that I didn't share with you. When I first got here, I didn't really understand about tap systems because I just jumped in to try to help, and I was gonna like rip it out and do all this stuff, and then I found out someone's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Wow, what do you mean? Don't you know?" And I educate myself about it, and I realized, oh my God, I almost like tore out one of the most historic things in Neir's Tavern without realizing. But it's still here, and so enjoy it while it lasts. We're still keeping it going. It's still working perfectly. But that's the beer that they drank. That's how they drank it back then.
That's so cool. It's always my segue into, you don't have to go to trendy speakeasies. You can come to a place like Neir's and drink beer the way that people in this country, in this area, were drinking it almost 200 years ago. There's nothing cooler than that. Okay, so Lloyd, can you tell us kind of about the food and what you're known for at Neir's?
Yeah, so, Neir's Tavern, I think, Queens is one of the most diverse boroughs in the country. I mean, Queens is so important to American history and the people and immigrants. And we have all foods from all walks of life. It's so amazing. But I wanted to make sure that when I took over Neir's Tavern, I represent America. And so we've always made sure that we have a really good burger. Because no matter how much different foods and ethnicities is here, everyone can rally around a good American burger. And so that is the connector, just like how Neir's Tavern is the connector in Queens and New York City. So the Goodfellow Burger is that iconic, all-American food that we can rally around. And we named the Goodfellow because, of course, 14% of the Goodfellow movie was filmed here. And I love this because it's fresh, handmade, patties that we have. We have a local brioche bun that we have from down the block that makes the actual brioche bun. And of course we have sauteed onions, and we have like this grilled tomato and the pepper jack cheese all melted together. And they named this the top 10 burger in New York State by New York Beef Council. So I'm so happy about that burger that represents America and represent Neir's Tavern as the Goodfellow place that everyone knows about.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. I can see why that has been voted one of the best burgers. In New York. The quality of that meat is exceptional, and it's got this unique taste to it that you can't find anywhere else, as far as I'm aware. It's the quality of the meat and the taste of it. There's a little bit of nostalgia, and it tastes like a grill, like you're in the backyard grilling, but obviously better. And then all the toppings, the Goodfellas sauce, the onions, the tomato, the pepper jack, which adds a nice kick. It's cooked perfectly. This is amazing. These wings smell amazing. Burger looks fantastic. I love a good quesadilla. So tell us what we have.
Well, we have a chicken quesadilla. I want to honor our, Mexican Americans that really provide the food for us, and also just classic American stuff that we've just adopted from that Mexican culture. I love that. And no one can deny a good buffalo wings. This is a staple in every bar, and we do it the best. People love it. This is not pre-made. This is done on the spot, and it's just really, really fresh. Your taste buds will start watering because it's so delicious.
Oh yeah.
See, it's meaty, it's crispy, and the sauce.
The sauce.
Oh,
Oh yeah, right?
Oh, there's so much flavor. Like there's so much, like simple but complex like things going on, and that's what's so exciting about food. That even at a tavern or a place like this, where you think it's going to be like super casual, you're walking in not knowing that they have one of the best burgers in New York, and then you begin to experience why, because it hits you at all different times, and that's what makes food really exciting. So for sure.
So perfectly said. That's what it's about. Some of the best places you just really don't know about. Although we named the most famous bar you never heard of, the food and the burgers you should definitely know about.
Definitely. So,
Okay.
what else can you tell us about Neir's? What are your goings on a daily basis or a weekly basis, and anything else you want to let me know about for whenever I come back, and the public as well, so they can come?
So, obviously, we have a lot of different community events here. We have bar bingo, we have trivia, we have karaoke every so often, we have a live band, we have a jazz every Saturday for the brunch. We have all of these different things to try to bring people together and give them an avenue to really visit Neir's, right? But the most important thing is our movement to reach 200 years old. And so we're in 194, so we have 6 years left. And so every year we do a block party called the Road to 200 Block Party. So that is the countdown. So in October is going to be the 6th year countdown, and next year will be 5 years, 3 to get to 200. So our Road to 200 Block Party is one of our major initiatives. We're getting people around. And also, if you look at it, talking about the road, Neir's Tavern is the only restaurant, one of the only probably, that has a street named after it. So if you look on literally Google Maps, you'll see Neir's Tavern Way, and that's why we have these little wristbands if you ever see them, and it says Road to 200, because we're on a journey to try to, hopefully we can make 200 years without another pandemic, without another rent issue. So that's it. And we're also in the United States Congressional Record, one of the only taverns in America to be inside United States Congressional Record, official history book of the United States.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And one of my last big goal, I don't know if I'll make it or whatever, is to figure out how Neir's Tavern can actually buy this building. We can own our destiny so that we're not always subjected to closure or the rent increases. It'll give us a better chance of succeeding for the long term. So
Absolutely.
These are like big goals, but hopefully the Goodfellow fans and the Laura's of the world and the Allens of the world continue to come back and do what you're doing now. That is definitely part of it. And today is giving us another inch closer to the reach of 200 years old because you're here today.
Oh no, Lloyd. Thank you so much for everything, for sharing this space with me, sharing the history, and please tell me I'll be invited to the block party.
Yes, we're gonna start making a list, and we'd love to have you. Just the fact that you're here, everyone talks, but you actually took action, and you're sitting right here with me, and that means we're in this together.
Absolutely. I can't wait to be a part of that every year until we hit 200 in 6 years, right? We're at 23,
Yes.
29. So
Yes. Yeah.
I have my very own wristband right now, which I'm super excited about, and I feel really lucky that Lloyd has given me one so I can follow Neir's Tavern's Road to 200 and be a part of it. So I'm going to put that on, and then if you'll kind of just wristband cheers me.
I love it.
Thank you again for having us. Everything has been amazing, from your hospitality to the food. And let me tell you, this is no lie. This burger is absolutely one of the best. It is very exciting. I would come here for the burger alone. There's a million reasons to come here. Hospitality is amazing. You're not going to find anything like it. It's full of history. You want to step back in time and experience a place that's been here for almost 200 years, one of the oldest places in the United States, and that has so much to give to the community, is such an important part of the fabric of their community. You've got to come check them out if you've never been. If you don't know, you know now. So this has been Laura Bray at Laura NYC on Instagram, here in Woodhaven at Neir's Tavern, with the owner Lloyd, saying you've got to come here and follow us on the road to 200 years. See you soon.